Have you ever felt that tracking your steps and your calories is meant to make you feel good, but it's had the opposite effect and it's made you feel crap and guilty and defeated? Well, I am the same. So today's podcast is about why I've stopped tracking things. And that title is probably a little bit misleading because there are still things that I need to track, or I will have a break from tracking. So the intention of tracking is that, you're meant to feel healthier. You're meant to get those, everyone tells you have to get those 10,000 steps and you have to eat however many calories it is, 1,200, 1,500, 1,800, whatever it is. And you have to do this and you have to get this much sleep and you have to do whatever. I found that sometimes it has the opposite effect and it's made me feel worse. So, and I'm doing this because it's happens reasonably regularly. So I have an Apple Watch and that tracks how I sleep. I know my sleep is shit most of the time. I don't have, my deep sleep is pretty well non-existent. I can see all of that. Whilst that's really healthy to know those things, at times it's like, you know what? I don't want to be reminded that I'm going to sleep bad tonight. And I don't want to have to get that notification on my phone that I haven't hit whatever the sleep goal was. And like I've taken my Apple Watch, like showing my wrist that it's bare. I'm not wearing it this weekend because I don't want the guilt that's going to come with it. So I know that today is mostly going to be me in the office doing things, catching up on things. I don't want the guilt of my watch yelling at me saying I haven't closed my rings because I haven't, hit my 10,000 step milestone or whatever it is, or I've got something yelling at me, you haven't logged your breakfast, log your breakfast. We have to keep you on track and everything. And I can appreciate all of that, is really helpful. But I think doing that religiously and feeling like it becomes more of a chore. It's a chore to get to those 10,000 calories. 10,000 steps, 10,000 calories. It's huge. It's a chore to get to those 10,000 steps. And, if you're trying to log your food and then you've made something different and you're trying to get all the different measurements and stuff, I think there's just so much reliance on listening to people telling you what to do, and then it has the opposite effect of you feeling guilty. So if tracking things for you excites you, doesn't stress you, challenges you or whatever, then this podcast is probably not for this episode is probably not for you because, you're all over it. But for me, I like tracking things, but I feel like every now and then I need to have that break. I don't need to be reminded that I haven't closed my rings. I don't want it to be a chore that I have to go for a walk to try to get those 10,000 steps or drink my 8 glasses of water or whatever it is. And I know all those things are really, really useful, but I don't think it's healthy to be concentrating on that every single day because then it becomes a chore and then I think it has the opposite effect of what it was meant to be. So if you are needing permission to stop tracking things for a little bit, here is your permission. No doubt I will probably put my watch back on Sunday night because that's kind of the start of the working week. I generally find on a weekend is where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take my watch off. I don't want, yes, you can turn those notifications off and all that. I can appreciate that, but you're still looking at it knowing that you haven't closed those goals or you haven't hit that milestone or whatever it is that it might be. So usually on a weekend, I will just take my watch off, give myself permission for that. It feels quite good to not have it on sometimes. And I have taken a lot of notifications off my phone so they don't come through on my watch as well. But it was just kind of listening to some people recently and, they were feeling guilty because they hadn't hit, I think it was their step count. And it was devastating to them that they didn't hit it, and then it was becoming a chore because they felt like they had to go and do that before they do everything else, or they had to go for a walk late at night when it's really, really cold here in winter to get that step count out. So I, as I said, tracking, I track I do track. I track the financials for my business. I have been changing, my lifestyle a little bit. So, I can hopefully have that better sleep and concentrate better. So like I'm making changes to that, but I don't need to be reminded every day that I still have shit sleep or I still haven't hit those milestones when I know I am making slow, incremental improvements, which is going to help me more than me getting the shits and having to go and hit those 10,000 steps or, eat, have 1,200 calories or whatever it is. I'd rather go, okay, well, I'm going to make more conscious choices around my food today. That food didn't quite make me feel good. All right, there, I've had it. I've had my binge. I've had my chocolate, and, I'm not going to feel guilty over that. Like, I enjoyed that type thing. So if anyone has any feedback, any comment, any tips, if you're feeling the same, I'd absolutely love to hear from you. I just feel like we have so much responsibility, and I'm sure males feel it too. I can only vouch because I'm a female and I'm a mum and a business owner, that you have all these responsibilities, and I feel the last thing I need is my phone or my watch yelling at me saying you need to go and do better because you haven't hit those steps for today. When I know that, I've gone for a walk and maybe didn't quite get those 10,000 steps, but I've gone for that walk and it feels good. Or I've sat outside in the sun and I've read. So I've done other things other than, what my phone is yelling at me to do. So, because I think if anything becomes a chore, it's you're not going to enjoy it. You're going to resent it. It's probably not going to last. And having that break every now and then, for me, just from my watch, having different boundaries in place. So my emails are off my phone. I don't have them on there anymore. I have a social media blackout on my phone. So when I hit that time block per day, I don't have access to social media anymore. So, it does involve boundaries as well. But I just wanted to let you know that don't feel bad because you may not have reached that step count today, or you didn't track your calories, or you tracked your calories and you went over what you were meant to, and your phone is telling you that, especially MyFitnessPal, when you put your calories in, it's like, you're not going to lose weight, you're going to gain weight if you continue on like this. Like, it makes you feel shit and it makes you not want to do that in the first place. So tracking, important. I don't think, unless you have to do it for medical reasons or something like that. I'm obviously not telling you to go against that type of advice, but if it's just trying to do general health or trying to feel better, I don't think you need to have that guilt on you that you haven't done something for that day, those couple of days. I was sick again this week, so I know, like, I was sick twice in 2 weeks. So I know that is my body telling me, all right, I've dropped you on your ass for 2 days. You keep going, I'm going to drop you on your ass for 4 days. So I know that I have to slow down. I don't need my watch yelling at me saying you haven't done your step count when I was pretty well either, in bed or on the lounge in pain. I don't need that reminder, when I'm not feeling well. But it's listening to those signs as well, that if your body is telling you to do something, then you better listen to it. Otherwise, it's probably not going to end well for you. But yeah, it was just that I thought this episode was important because I had been thinking about it, and I think about it quite often, and I often take my watch off, so I don't have that responsibility. But just having conversations with people recently where they have said the same thing, but they were still doing the thing because they were feeling bad that they didn't do the thing. It's like, okay, so you've had a busy day running after the kids, or you've had a busy day at work, or you have been unwell, or you have sat in the sun and read your book. Like, that is all self-care stuff as well, on top of whatever else that you might be tracking from a health perspective. If I keep using calories and health and steps, because that's usually what my phone is yelling at me to do. And there's probably other things, glasses of water, like how much water you've drunk, that's another one. I know that I drink 2 glasses, so I drink usually 2 liters of water per day. I don't track that though, so I know my water intake isn't too bad most of the time. That's probably also a lie. I probably don't do it every day. Every time I'm in the office, I definitely do, because that's just part of my routine. I probably get a little bit slack when I do get home, but I know that I do still drink water. I just don't track that side of it. So yeah, just be more kind to yourself. Stop feeling guilty over things that probably, aren't going to matter in 5 years because you didn't hit your 10,000 steps today. That's not going to matter in 5 years. And we all know that when you eat better and you move and exercise, then and have that self-care, that you do feel better. But just give yourself a break every now and then so you're not accountable to your watch, or set your goals to something really, really low. Set it to like 1,000 steps a day, perhaps, and then you might be getting those wins, and you feel like you can increase it. Then maybe increase it to 1,500 or 2,000 steps. So that's a suggestion as well. But yeah, I just thought we're halfway through the year. Christmas is going to be here before we know it. I don't know how we ever got to July, but we're here in July, and I just feel that everybody is kind of getting exhausted already. And, it's school holidays right now. I can appreciate not everybody gets that time off, but I just feel exhaustion is kicking in already. And we still have, 5.5 months left until the end of the year. So if you are needing permission to not feel guilty because you haven't hit whatever milestone that your watch has been telling you to do, or your phone is telling you to do, here is your permission to go. That is all okay. Have that time off that you need. Don't feel guilty, because all those little small things that you're doing as well will add up. So yeah, please reach out if you want to have a chat about that further, or you have any questions or feedback. I'd love to hear that. And just remember, these episodes are for you. I'm sharing things that people have requested for me to speak about, and things that have popped up with clients and whatnot. So if there's any other topics that you want me to discuss, please just reach out and let me know. Otherwise, yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Please share this with somebody who might be feeling a little bit guilty for, not doing, their step count or something for today, and let them know that it's all okay. And I will catch you next time. See you.